Can you stop the asphalt cracking and deterioration? It's a big question. In this tutorial, we're going to explain how you can stop the cracking and deterioration of asphalt. Nothing is more frustrating than to see those first cracks in your beautiful new driveway, or to see the street in your neighborhood start cracking and failing. We're all excited when we see some new pavement to drive on, but it's really frustrating to watch it fall apart after a few years. Millions of dollars are spent to prevent deterioration of our driveways and to stop the deterioration and cracking of our streets. Traditional topical sealers look good, but do very little to protect the pavement from moisture entering the pavement. Sealing driveways and streets with topical coatings can actually cause more damage by trapping the moisture in the asphalt. As you can see in this asphalt core sample, asphalt is like a sponge. It's very porous. Even newly constructed pavement will have 5 to 8% air voids and fissures. This allows the asphalt to take in moisture, which is the main cause of failure. It is the major cause of failure, and it starts immediately and it occurs throughout the life of the pavement. Oxidation is the other major cause of failure. The deterioration gets started during the first 2 to 4 years before the pavement is typically thought to need any maintenance. Moisture penetrates the asphalt, and then the summer heat causes the moisture to evaporate and steam the lights out of the asphalt. The lights are the smaller asphalt molecules, similar to the viscosity difference between diesel and gasoline, for instance. You can actually smell this process as you walk across a hot asphalt in the summer. If the asphalt has been recently sealed with a traditional topical sealer, you may be able to see the small steam holes that form where the steam pushes up and out of the asphalt. I've always saw those and wondered what the heck they really were. I figured it was some sort of evaporation, but really didn't know how damaging it was. This steaming causes the top half-inch of the pavement to become more brittle than the rest of the pavement. This brittleness begins the premature cracking and/or rattling of the surface, setting the stage for several types of pavement failure and distress. The other major factor of distress is oxidation, which reduces the strength of the asphalt to hold the aggregate tight. This allows the pavement to begin cracking, allowing moisture to penetrate the pavement, and over time allows moisture to get into the base, which leads to further failures. Traditional sealers provide more aesthetics than protection and fail to address the primary cause of pavement failure, which is water penetrating the pavement structure. In fact, they can actually trap moisture in the pavement, causing more damage as hot summer heat steams the trapped moisture out, taking the lighter asphalt particles with it. The other major cause of failure is oxidation, which breaks down the asphalt in the pavement. This reduces the ability of the asphalt to hold the aggregate together. Oxidation, along with evaporation of moisture, causes more cracking to occur, which allows more moisture in the pavement, making it more vulnerable to freeze-thaw cycles, which grow more damaging as the time goes on. Topical sealer versus penetrating sealer. By applying a penetrating sealer to fill the fissures and the voids in the pavement, similar to what Thompson's Wood Seal does, can prevent oxidation and moisture from penetrating the pavement. Hawk Seale is the penetrating preservative. It's non-hazardous, it's safe for the environment, it will not harm pets, grass, or shrubs, contains a proprietary blend of acids, copolymers, and other secret components. Permanently seals asphalt from moisture, and it fills the fissures and cracks in the asphalt to create a tight, durable, waterproof surface, preventing moisture from penetrating the pavement permanently. In the following photos, you will see how asphalt cracking and deterioration can be stopped. This photo illustrates the crack stopping power of Hawk Seale. This street is about 15 years old in this photo with normal cracking and deterioration. In this circle, you'll notice this is where the Hawk Seale distributor truck was parked overnight and dripped sealer on the pavement. Now, 10 years later, there are no cracks where the sealer dripped. The cracking stops when it reaches the sealed pavement. I found this extremely fascinating, and it was one of the main reasons I became a Hawk Seale distributor. But you can see these cracks come up there from every direction. And in that center, there's not a crack. So I'll show you more. Hawk Seale's molecular structure is smaller and heavier than water, allowing it to penetrate the fissures and voids in the asphalt and push any moisture up and out. This is Red Oak Drive in Cabot, Arkansas. It was one of the very first streets sealed with Hawk Seale E. This is the west end of Red Oak Drive, 16 years after being sealed with Hawk Seale. Red Oak Drive was 5 years old when it was sealed in 1998. And you'll notice the line where the cracking is evident where no sealer was applied. This photo was taken at the intersection of G Street, which runs north and south, and east and west Red Oak Drive. So this is Red Oak Drive. G Street intersection is right in front of us here. You can see the cracking. The intersection is cracked up quite substantially. Here you can see a close-up of the untreated east end of Red Oak Drive and the west end of Red Oak Drive. Notice how the cracking stops near the treated line. It's just fascinating. It's hard to believe this, and you can pull it up on Google and look at it today and see the difference. Now compare the unsealed east end of Red Oak Drive, which was constructed at the same time as the west end, and you'll notice this thing is alligatored all the way down. Has potholes and so forth. It's going to need some major repairs. I might add it is also important to have good surface water drainage for your driveways, parking lots, and streets, as water is a killer for pavement. As asphalt has no structural strength, when water penetrates into the base, it causes the base to become soft and unable to support the pavement, setting it up for failure. And that's where you get your potholes, like in the corner here. Once the water gets into the base and it can't support it, the street will sag and fail, and you'll get your potholes. This is a close-up photo of the West Red Oak Drive 20 years after being treated with Hawk Seale. There's literally no deterioration of the asphalt. It's far exceeded the expectations of the chemist and the engineer who developed it, and it's a remarkable product. Since it becomes a part of the pavement structure, it cannot leach out or break down, and it becomes permanent. The only way the pavement will fail is if the pavement itself wears out from traffic. Since it becomes a part of the pavement structure, it cannot leach out or break down, and it becomes permanent. The only way the pavement will fail is if the pavement itself wears out from traffic. Here's a professional endorsement from W.H. Reynolds from Paragould, Arkansas, who was an engineer with over 50 years of experience in the asphalt industry, and whose credentials included writing the manuals, Asphalt Pavement Design, and Maintenance and Repair of Local Streets for the state of Arkansas. This is what he has to say about his experience with Hawk Seale. I personally have had projects with Hawk Seale E for the past 9+ years in Paragould and Marion, Arkansas. I have tried or observed many different sealers in the past 46 years. Very few were penetrating sealers. The Hawk Seale cold polymer formula forms a flexible sealer similar to silicone and is the only one I've had success with. The mixture fills and seals the pavement cracks and voids from the bottom up, preventing moisture from entering the pavement. This is one of the reasons I like Hawk Seale E. In addition, most cities and counties have very little control over the asphalt mix as it is laid. There's very little inspection or testing, if any, during the production, laydown, and compaction of the hot mix pavement. Hawk Seale can eliminate and delay many of the common problems that stem from poor construction. It says a lot, doesn't it? Hawk Seale works equally well in hot or cold climates. In cold climates, it breaks the freeze-thaw cycle that typically shortens the life of pavement, as the pavement is now a solid mass. In hot climates, it prevents the ongoing evaporations and drying out of the pavement. Streets can be treated as needed, whether they're large or small sections. Hawk Seale can correct poorly compacted asphalt with extra applications to create a solid, non-porous roadbed. I might add that there was a street in Arkansas that the contractor's roller broke down and the street never got compacted. The engineers from Hawk Seale were called to see what they could do with it or recommend as engineers, and they decided to treat it with Hawk Seale to see if they could fill those voids and fissures. It took 8 applications to saturate and fill that poorly compacted pavement, but it is still in place now, approximately 15 years later. Once applied, Hawk Seale becomes a permanent part of the pavement, preserving it for the life of the pavement, and it does not make the pavement slippery. It does not require high-tech or expensive equipment to apply, and implementing the Hawk Seale Save Our Streets program can reduce maintenance budgets by as much as 40% over a 5-year time span. And as a taxpayer, this excited me, and I'm sure your tax-paying citizens are going to be much happier with lower taxes and great streets. Hawk Seale is comparatively priced to traditional cosmetic sealers that you apply every couple years. We actually sell it too cheap for what it does. Email us at hawkseale@gmail.com for a quote. We'll be happy to talk with you. You can visit our Facebook page or our website, and feel free to give us a ring or email us, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you for watching, and we'll be looking for more tutorials.